Thinking about becoming a chartered accountant, but not sure whether the ACA or ACCA is the better path? You're not alone. I've been a chartered accountant for over 10 years and I've seen firsthand how this choice can shape your entire career. In this video, I'm going to break down the 3 biggest factors that will make or break your decision so you don't waste years going down the wrong path. And the first factor is a big one. What do you actually want to gain from your learning? See, both ACA and ACCA gives you that prestigious chartered status in accounting, which will open a lot of doors in finance for you. But here's the thing. The ACA, which stands for Associate Chartered Accountant, and the ACCA, Associate Chartered Certified Accountant, each focuses on slightly different skills and approaches. And those differences can really shape what you learn and where your career takes you. The ACA leans heavily around 90 to 95% on financial accounting, so you'll be specializing in areas like corporate tax, financial reporting, and audit preparation. ACCA, on the other hand, is more balanced thinker, 60-40 split between financial and management accounting. It covers performance management, business leadership, and even data analysis. So if ACA is like a specialist toolkit built for mastering deep financial topics, then ACCA is more of a Swiss Army knife of finance, giving you a broader mix of skills to apply in different areas of business. You might be able to see now it's not really about which qualification is better. Both ACA and ACCA will give you the foundations to be a strong accountant. The real question is, what kind of accountant do you want to become? If you're fascinated by specialist financial topics like tax, reporting, and audit, then the ACA is your deep dive specialist toolkit. But if you'd rather be a all-rounder in finance, someone who can move between commercial strategy, program management, and finance, then the ACCA is your Swiss Army knife. And if you are curious of what specific jobs you can do post-qualification, somewhere above me, I'm going to link a video where I discuss the top highest paying jobs post-qualifications out there for newly qualified chartered accountants. So that's the theory, and it makes sense so far, but here's the bigger question. How do these differences actually show up in the real world? Because at the end of the day, what matters most isn't just about the syllabus, it's the job requirements, and this is where the 2 paths really start to separate. So what do employers actually care about when they're hiring? I've interviewed for top firms and I can tell you it's not just about having ACA or ACCA written on your CV. What really matters is what did you do while studying and after. When I read CVs, I'm looking for signs that you actually understood your work. So what problems did you tackle? How did you approach complex solutions? Did you try and figure out solutions, or were you just ticking boxes? That's why if you think qualifying is only about passing exams, you're missing the bigger picture. The real value is showing how you applied that knowledge in real world situations, because the qualification alone can only take you so far. And here's the proof. Over a quarter of CEOs in the UK's top 100 companies started out as chartered accountants. That tells you something. It's not just about the letters after your name. It's about whether you can grow into a leader. So when choosing between ACA or ACCA, don't just ask which one looks better on paper. Ask yourself which path will give you the best experience while you're working, because that experience is what really determines success. And what do I mean by success? Let's just say it straight. What's the salary difference between ACA and ACCA chartered accountants? Now, this needs a bit of context. One of the conditions of the ACA is that you need a professional firm's training provider while you're studying. And most of the biggest firms, the Big Four, PwC, EY, Deloitte, KPMG, require their trainees to go down the ACA route. The ACCA works a little differently. A much larger proportion of ACCA students study independently without necessarily being tied to a major firm. And that's why when you look at the starting salaries, there's a clear difference. ACA students are usually placed in top firms from the beginning, while ACCA students are more spread out, some in smaller companies, some even studying part-time whilst they focus on their exams. So the starting salary difference isn't really about the qualification itself, it's about the type of experience and opportunities that come with each qualification. But here's where it gets interesting. Over time, that salary gap shifts. Yes, ACA tends to start higher, and the gap can even widen in the first few years post qualification. But after around 10 years, the difference closes significantly. By then, many ACCA qualified accountants have built up strong experience and are earning on par with their ACA counterparts. And that's the key takeaway. Your salary is determined less by the qualification on paper and more by how did you use it. Now, it's all good to look forwards towards the future after you qualify, but what does a chartered accountant do on a day-to-day basis? I had this question before I started working and never found a realistic answer anywhere. So that's why I made a day in the life video of a chartered accountant, which I'll leave next to me. Go check it out, and I'll see you all in the next video.